partying? Was it like as crazy and intense that you would imagine it to be? Was it pretty wild?
Yeah, I mean,
Cher's house, all these,
Yeah, man, you walk into China Club and they've got, armed guys walking you in up to the VIP. They walk up to people who have all kinds of money. They've been spending money. Move, and they move them off the table, and you're just sitting there like this, smiling at the guy, at his wife, at his girlfriend, going, "You can stay. You got to go." It was surreal. So
who was the wildest guy you met? Where you're like, "Damn, I was just invited to this person's party." Who was?
I would always say, if I write the book, right? If I write the book, now you tell me this. You obviously probably know this more than I would. If I write the book and I say, so I go to the door in the hotel. And I open the door, and there's so-and-so, and I name him. His name is Charlie. So I go to the door, and I say, and Charlie is waiting me with, the two girls, and we end up going in the room, and it's on for 3 straight days. No one sleeps, blah, blah. Now, if I don't say the guy's name, and I say, and so another A-list actor, or another guy, or another, does that book sell the way it is if I say the guy's name?
No.
Of course not.
Yeah.
So if I write my story, the names, this is kind of like, not Epstein kind of stuff or P. Diddy, but the wild, 2 girls and 3 guys and the stuff that I saw, when I'd be at someone's house. There wasn't anything illegal besides maybe some of the paraphernalia that was being used drug-wise, but I saw some wild stuff and I was pretty naive to it because do you want to be with Angela and so-and-so? And I go, no, why would I want to be more than one? I only have 2 hands, and so I never did any of that. I never, did that kind of freaky or wild stuff, but I definitely, put myself in situations that were high risk because of, look at Charlie now. Charlie Sheen, Charlie's, has AIDS and I think he's doing well, but, I definitely hung around with that crew, a lot of those guys in the late 80s and early 90s and, a lot of big NBA basketball players that I went to parties at their homes and, where it was on, it was wild.
I remember one time Magic told a story. Have you seen that Magic interview where he says, so what was it like? He says, 10, 12, 14 girls at a time.
Yeah.
Have you seen that interview?
I haven't seen that interview, but I've been to parties where you went into the hot tub and they just all had their clothes off and you could, it was Babylonian, I called it. When you look at the stuff that they depicted that happened in Babylon and everything, fortunately for me, that just never did anything for me.
Really?
That's great. It never really did anything for me. Now, was I ever with, one woman at a time? I never strayed the heterosexual line, but I definitely was with women I didn't know very well, and was in situations that I'm not proud of now.
Yeah, and that's the interview. Obviously, we're not going to watch it. It's 18 minutes, but I've seen that interview. No, I mean, look, I lived in L.A. 26 years. When I got out of the Army and I'm 21, it was just, But when you're a celebrity in movies, in the 80s, in L.A., you're going to all the main clubs, nightlife, the insanity. I can only imagine the stories.
You're going to think I'm crazy when I tell you this, but the last 13 and a half years, I've been working on my first fiction book to write, ever. Fiction book to write. And while I finished this book, a year ago, I got the strangest phone call about one of the characters in the book where the guy wanted to meet with me, and he read the book. And afterwards, is like, wait a minute, am I the villain in the book? This is a story about a character named Asher, who is half Armenian, half Assyrian, whose father was involved in the Iranian Revolution, linked to Savak, working with the Shah, that they escape and he gets recruited to a secret society. When you go to the secret society, it's been around for a couple thousand years. They've developed some of the craziest leaders of all time. And they test you. There's unique tests that they have at this society where they test to see your emotional mental toughness. One of the tests that they have is very rigorous. It's purely mental. Of course, there's a physical one, but one is mental and emotional. If you're Armenian, if you're Syrian, if you're Persian, this is a book you're going to be reading and saying, holy moly, this is the kind of stuff you talk about in here? Yes. If you're somebody that's fascinated by history, this is a book for you. Characters. There's a technology that this society, secret society, builds where you go into a vault. I won't spoil it for you. When you go down, they have a technology where you get to sit down and watch and have a 3-4 hour conversation with Tupac. You can set up a debate between Karl Marx And Ayn Rand, Karl Marx is in the book, who wrote Communist Manifesto. Ayn Rand, who wrote Atlas Shrugged, is in the book. Marilyn Monroe explains the concept of seduction and sex in the book. When you read the book, it's about development of the next leaders in the world and how they do it and how they've been doing it for many years. And it's also about how to prevent the end of civilization and how this organization goes about doing it. So I've never written a parenting book before, but if I ever wrote a parenting book, this is the closest thing to it because it's all mindset, a lot of crazy stories. Again, 13 and a half years. Trust me, I told myself I will not publish this book until I sell my insurance company and I'm fully disconnected from it, where it's no longer my responsibility 100%. When you read this, if you're a creative person, if you like fiction books, if you enjoyed Atlas Shrugged, or if you enjoy Divergent, if you like books like that, I think you're gonna enjoy reading this book. It's the creative side. Business books is very easy. Here's how you do it. Here's how this how it works. This is very creative. If you haven't placed the order yet, now you can order it on Simon & Schuster, Amazon. I'm gonna put the link up below somewhere here, maybe even in my profile. Go order the book and read it. I've never written a book where I can't wait to read your reviews to see what you think about this book. So I'm going on this wild journey and we have some plans with this book here. If you support the things that I work on, I would appreciate you going and reading the book, order the book on Amazon, and then post a review. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.